Hello and welcome back to Cinders. Let us continue. My lord, you wanted to see me. I have been informed of the hostage situation. No, sorry, I'm not going to try and do that voice. I have been informed of the hostage situation at the marketplace today. I also heard that you handled the situation rather admirably. For that, I commend you. Thank you, my lord. But the truth is, I regret having to kill so many men. They couldn't even put up a fight. Such is the burden of those in positions of power. We must make difficult decisions for the sake of protecting others. It is not a choice, but a duty. And you performed your duty to perfection. You honour me with your words, my lord. You deserve it. After all, my father, your king, has always spoken well of you. I know he even considered you a friend. If the king spoke so, I am honoured by such confidence. Truly. What do you think of my father? How was it to serve under him? The king was a wise, skillful and strong leader. I would have followed him anywhere. That is what I have heard from everyone who knew him. Already I fade in comparison. My prince? I have not yet been crowned. His father's last wish was that I should find a wife first. No doubt he wished that I find someone capable of ruling by my side. Of course. Every noble in the land is eagerly pushing an eligible daughter towards me. Wrong voice. Of course, every noble in the land is eagerly pushing an eligible daughter towards me. But I need a strong woman I can rely on. A queen who can support my agenda no matter how hard it's going to be. I am a simple warrior, my lord. I know very little of romance and politics. Nonsense. My father trusted you in matters more than war, and I too am willing to do that. Please, advise me, not as the captain of the guard, but as my friend. But I confess, even my own palace is not a safe place for discussing such delicate matters. The walls have ears, and I would not wish for my search for a wife to become any more public than it already is. Might we go hunting together tomorrow morning? I think we'd find the forest a safer place for a discussion. Such an action is dangerous, my lord. If something were to happen to you, there is no one to succeed you on the throne. Is that so? I cannot imagine anything safer than having the famous captain of the guard by my side. If that is what you wish, my lord. That is indeed what I wish. You can go now, friend. My prince. Good old Perilou, brave captain of the royal guard, first sword of the kingdom, veteran of the renegade war. Reduced to killing common thugs and guarding market stalls, not yet aware of how obsolete his role is. These are different times that require a new kind of bravery and power. Our wars will not be fought using iron and fire, but gold and lies. Depressing attitude, but yeah, that's pretty much how politics work. I hope you can adapt to these new times, my poor old friend. Because when I become king and start realizing my plans, goodness knows I'm going to need someone like you. Later that night. Finally, I have some time to myself after doing Kamosa's bidding all day. I admit, it wasn't such a bad day. Even though I was running errands, I managed to get on Kamosa's good side for once. She even made sure I got a warm meal in exchange. Maybe she's not as bad as I used to think. Oh dear, am I going crazy? Maybe I'm turning into my sisters. Sure, she's strict, rough, and downright cruel at times, but it's not like she had much choice. As far as I know, she wasn't born as high nobility. She had to work her way to where she is now. That had to leave a mark. Even now, things must be difficult for her, having to run this house. She's just a solitary woman for most. That doesn't keep her from being a horrible person with barely a hint of redeeming qualities, though. I can't believe how exhausted I am after today, though. My feet ache and I feel so sleepy. I should go to bed. Kamosa certainly won't allow me to sleep in tomorrow. Is that someone knocking at the door? Why would someone be visiting us at such a late hour? Silence! I paid for your discretion and yet you pound on the front door as if it's a war drum! Right, pardon madame. I swear I'll be silent as the tombs are right away. Mum's the word. Enough with your nonsense. The package is ready to go. Can I trust you? Oui, oui. You wound my pride, madam. I am more trustworthy than an old priest in a confessional. Ugh. such an utterance is a little comfort to me. No one could escape Camosa's biting tongue. Now prove there is some value to your words and go before someone sees you. I think he's gone. What was all that about? What on earth is Camosa trying to hide? Maybe I should sneak out the window and try to follow him. He can't have gone far. If I leave now, I'm sure he can catch up with me. No, that's crazy. I can't do that. Oh, we are totally going. It must be crazy, but this might be my only chance. How long have I waited here, wishing for a change? Finally, an opportunity has presented itself. Camosa clearly has a secret. If I could figure it out, I might have an advantage over her. No one is outside the window, and now it's as good a time as ever. Here goes nothing! Well, now what? I tried to keep my distance while following that man, and now I've lost his trail completely. If he's somewhere up ahead, I'll really have to hurry to catch up with him. But if I accidentally pass him, then I've run the risk of running into him when I return home. Oh, curse these demonic excuses for plants! The way you scratch at a fellow, you're more like wildcats than shrubs. That must be him. He's close. Better hide. Ah, blasted rocks! What are they doing in my path? You'd think that'd clear out this place. That fellow can't see a damn thing in the dark. It's not proper, I tell you. Oh, well, I'm sure this is the place where I'm scheduled to meet that smart-ass merchant. Smart-ass or not, you should be more careful when talking about the man who pays you. Oh, boss, I was just talking a little to myself. No harm meant, you know. Truly. I suppose I can let this one go if you brought the package as discreetly as Lady Carosa requested. Of course, no ifs about it, boss. It wounds my honor that you doubt the competence of me for even a moment. No, I'd never doubt you. Now hand it over. Before I do, boss, I have a little something I've been needing to ask you. And what would that be? You know I'm an honest man, but my curiosity just took a hold of me so hard I had to have a look inside this package. And lo and behold, my eye spies a mighty fine necklace set with rubies and made of gold. It's worth thousands of sovereigns at least, yeah? I specifically instructed you not to look inside. But the necklace. Yes, it's probably worth quite a lot of money. I don't get it, boss. Why is the noble lady paying us to take it off our hands? Seems all wrong ways around to me. I'm sure she has her reasons, and you're being paid to poke around and ask needless questions. In fact, if you don't keep your mouth shut, you won't be paid at all. Whoa, boss, no need to get so angry. I'm about as secure as the royal treasury it is. I doubt the contents are quite as valuable. Still, you completed the task, and here's your pay. 15 sovereigns. Try not to drink it all at once. Me? Never! You wouldn't be with your accusations, boss. I'm sure. Well, we should return to town before someone stumbles upon us. What on earth is Tobias up to? Never mind that. If I don't do something, they'll leave before I can do anything. Now might be my only chance to confront him, but I probably shouldn't act too impulsively. I am going to go back home and confront him in the morning. I think I've seen enough. I'd better get back before they catch me, or someone else finds me missing. I'll talk to Tobias about this later, after I'd had some time to think about it. It's best to speak with them alone, anyway. Back to the house we go. In the morning. Oh, what a night. Maybe boss was right when he said not to drink away my pay in one go. Still, can't say it wasn't worth it how great last night was. Wait, what exactly happened last night? How did I wind up here? The deer went this way, my lord. Oh, someone's coming. Better lay low for a mite. Hurry, before it gets away. Forget that deer, Captain. There are more important matters at hand. This is about what you asked yesterday, my lord. I know little of politics or affairs of the court. That's exactly why I need you. You're straightforward and honest, and you can see things I can't. Behind all those smiles, everyone in the court lies to me. No, you're the only man I can trust. I will serve you to the best of my ability. What is it you wish to discuss? It's about my father's last wish. I must have a wife before I ascend to the throne. How am I to choose one? There is to be a ball in a few days. Isn't that your chance to find an eligible young lady? In theory, but that's the problem. How will I be able to tell? The monarchy is weak without a king, and the nobles around me are plotting to advance themselves. They groom their daughters like prize spaniels in the hopes I'll be taken in by a pretty face. I need a wife who is strong and smart, someone who can rule the kingdom wisely, not feed me her father's poisonous words. But I doubt I'll ever find such a woman. I've no doubt many such women exist, my lord. You should not give up so easily. You're right, Captain. It's just that I haven't had the fortune to meet one yet. I'm surrounded by women who know little more than how to curtsy. And they do little more than wait to be handed out as political tokens. Truly it is disheartening. And yet you must choose a wife from along the nobility regardless. It is, after all, tradition. As if tradition mattered to that brood of vipers. They plot to control the throne before it's even in my grasp. If I marry to please a powerful house, I risk having a fool for a wife. But what other choice do I have? If we respect the traditions to the fullest, you'd be able to choose any woman at all, even someone you didn't know. How convenient that this rule is often forgotten. Someone I didn't know. Captain, you're brilliant! It's perfect! I'm not sure I'll follow your thinking, my lord. A masquerade ball. I'll be able to choose from the women without discriminating over looks or political ties. They've been pushing me to follow tradition for so long, they can't complain if I remember the old rules. Captain, you are a truly remarkable man. I see now why Father trusted you so much. Of course, my lord. Well, it's always been an honour to be of service. Thank you so much, my friend. You are a rare breed indeed. Still faithful to your ideals. Ideals are not. Our prey has long since escaped us. If we linger any longer, people might grow suspicious. You're right, my friend. Let's return to the castle with all haste. Now that I have a solution in mind, I can return with a light heart. Well, that's a bit of juicy gossip you don't hear every day. A masquerade ball, huh? I know a certain lady who would pay handsomely for this information. That she would. The day may have started off lousy after all of last night's drinking, but it's turned out to be quite good after all. All thanks to a few extra rounds at the pub. You can't go wrong with that. Oh, what time is it? The sun is already so high in the sky. Oh, I must have slept in. Considering how long I spent outside last night, that's hardly a surprise. I'm still not sure what to think about what happened. I want to trust Tobias, but... well, at least it's something different from the usual. It's strange how my life has been so boring all this time, and suddenly all these things are happening to me. But even stranger than that, I wonder why no one is going to wake me up yet. It must be at least noon by now, if not later. Surely Camosa hasn't decided to be gracious and grant me a holiday. I want none of your pitiful excuses! Uh-oh, Camosa's definitely not in a gracious mood. I should get going and see what's getting on before she catches me like this. Everyone is here. You're an even bigger disappointment than usual! Looks like Camosa's mad at Gloria today. I wonder why. Hey, Sophia? Cinders, not so loud! I don't want to get into trouble. Or miss any of this. But what's going on? Business as usual. Mother's in a bad mood and Gloria's the nearest thing she could yell at. I'm not interested in your excuses. It's your duty to make sure there's enough wood for the fireplace. But if the servant is allegedly ill, then find someone else. Do it yourself if you have to. Maybe I should have Cinders take over your duty. At least she's capable of doing things correctly. Mother, how can you? How can I what? Do what I please with my own household? I worked hard to earn what you girls enjoy now. I bled and cried to get this far. What have you done? Once you earn as much as I have, feel free to do as you please. But right now, all I see is an incompetent little girl, and I doubt that will change anytime soon. I'm ashamed to call you my flesh and blood right now. I wouldn't mind having Cinders as a daughter instead. That's enough. Dinner must be ready in 2 hours. I expect you'll have found someone to chop the wood by then. Camosa's as cruel as ever. Gloria looks like she's about to burst into tears. Cinders, Sophia, what are you doing standing there gawking at me like that? This is all your fault. If it weren't for you... Let's be nice. Gloria, you know what Camosa is like. When she's angry, everyone around her is a victim. I know she says hurtful things, cruel things. It's just a way of motivating people, I think. I know we're not friends, and maybe we never will be, but please, don't think of me as your enemy. I know you're doing your best, and I'm sorry you were treated that way. You didn't deserve it. I know my words won't change much, but I still want you to know. I don't even know what to say. Oh, what's this? You usually have such a sharp reply, but now you can't think of anything to say. Whatever happened to the perfect, glorious, outspoken Gloria? One scolding from Mum is all that it takes to shut you up. I don't have time to deal with your childish jealousy right now, but watch your tongue. It will certainly get you into trouble someday. Anyway, you two heard Mother. Dinner must be ready in 2 hours, so get started. What? Why do we have to get dinner ready? Because I'll be busy taking care of Mother's other needs, like getting the wood chopped. If you'd rather not, I can always tell Mother you refuse to obey her orders. Fine, I'll do it. Just pray your food isn't poisoned. Huh. As if you'd have the guts to do such a thing, little sister. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have duties to attend to. Well, it looks like I'm stuck working with you, Cinders. Why were you so cruel to her? Why were you so cruel to Gloria? Why? Don't you hate her too? Well, maybe, but you're a sister. Aren't you supposed to support each other? Oh, if Gloria believed that. No, there's no support here, and it's mostly her fault. She always acts so smug and self-righteous, but there's no trace of her own will or personality in there. She's just trying to copy Mom, even though it's not possible. And of course she takes all her frustration out on me. She probably thinks Mom will recognise her more if she keeps degrading me. I have no reason to be kind to her. I understand, but don't you wish that would change? Living under Camosa is hard enough already. Wouldn't it be better to band together instead of fight each other? Maybe, but why does it matter? Why am I even discussing this with you? Oh, I must be getting desperate. Of course I want to be on better terms with Gloria, but she drew a line a long time ago. I may not be as clever or beautiful as Mom or Gloria, but I'm not naive. People don't just change. They'll remain cruel as long as it benefits them. That's such a sad outlook on life. It must have been really hard for you growing up. Oh please, I don't need pity, especially not from you. Life is horrid and no amount of sweet words will change that. Now let's get dinner ready before we get in trouble. It'll be nice to have someone helping with dinner for once. Hurry up and take out all the ingredients we're going to need. Why me? Isn't it obvious? I hardly step foot in the place. I don't know where anything is. Naturally, that doesn't mean you can't help with the preparation. I don't recall having a choice in the matter, do I? There's no way you can prepare dinner in 2 hours alone. I'll be in just as much trouble as you if it's not done. Mother isn't forgiving towards anyone. I figured out that much myself. Now, here are all the ingredients. Ugh, that stench is unbelievable. Are they rotting or something? No, this is just how vegetables smell. They do grow in the soil, you know. Sure, but I can't believe you actually live with this odour. But sometimes you must feel like a rather large carrot yourself. Maybe a beetroot? Very funny, Sophia. Besides, it wasn't exactly my own choice to move in here. I used to have a proper bedroom before Gloria took it. Of course, how could I forget? Still, you should be grateful. They say that harsh conditions help build character. You're bound to become a diamond here, while poor Gloria softens with every passing hour. Can't you give me a break for once? If that's how it's going to look, I prefer to risk Camosa's anger than dinner alone. Oh fine, don't be so uptight, sis. Once Gloria is in this house, it was one too many. So, what was it like before we moved in with you anyway? You really want to know? Of course, we've got to talk about something or else it'll be awfully dull in here. You can't just admit you're actually interested in my life. Well, if you must know, the moment we started talking I decided it's better to imagine you're a character of some bad romance novel. It's much less personal like that. You're such a darling sometimes. I know, right? I may not be the worst or best in the family, but you can't accuse me of lacking creativity. Let's get back to that book you're in. Well, life was different when Father was still alive, more carefree. Well, I suppose that's just how childhood is. Father had a way with kids. I think he was rather a big child himself, always dreaming. I loved it back then. I see. And how do you feel about it now? It may have been fun while I was a child, but looking back on it, I think Father was overprotective. He raised me to live in a dream instead of reality. Unfortunately, life is a lot more complex than fairy tales. You can say that again. Imagination only works so far, and for all dreams eventually come to an end. You're right. Sometimes I wish Father had better prepared me to be awake. I hate conversations about sleep. They invariably cause me to yawn. It's weird. What about Mother? Do you remember her? Unfortunately, she passed away giving birth to me. I still feel guilty about it, even though I know it doesn't make any sense. Father told me a lot about her, but I don't really know if that's how she was or just his idealised image. Either way, I know that her death had a huge impact on him. I think he was very lonely. Perhaps that's why he preferred to get lost in his dreams rather than face real life. I'm sure it got even worse after we came into your life, huh? Ah, this onion is making my eyes wet. Oh, give that to me, I'll chop it. If you rinse the knife first, it shouldn't sting that much. As for you, I'd say my life was definitely different after you came in. Oh, just be honest, I know your life has been miserable ever since your father married our lovely mother. Trust me, it's not like Gloria and I wanted this either, and yet here we are, one big happy family. You can be awfully cynical at times. Oh, you noticed. Fine then, yes, my life got worse when you showed up. I'm a servant. No, I'm a slave in my own house. Not like you'd understand. Yes, what could I possibly know about it? Stupid onion. Sounds to me like it's your turn to talk about your life. Well, there's not much to say. Well, that can't be true. It's obvious a lot happened to you and Gloria. You wouldn't be like this otherwise. Besides, you said you wanted a conversation, so tell me. Fine, but don't say I didn't warn you. When we were children, we lived out in the countryside. Our house wasn't as nice as this one, though. Our father was a military man. He got himself killed in some war, and that left Mother a widow. Oh, I'm sorry. Don't be. I hardly ever saw the man. When he was around, he was like a complete stranger, not a proper father at all. His death meant nothing to us. What about Camosa? Must have affected her. Maybe that's why she is the way she is now. Good lord. Was that supposed to be a joke? Mum didn't care about him any more than we did. Then why did she marry him? Well, why does anyone get married? How about that weird thing they call love? Or is that too obvious? The only thing that's obvious is how naive you are. Can you show me any actual loving marriages you've seen? They may be stupid, but they're not dense enough to think that love is the driving force behind a marriage. Love is a luxury. Maybe a rich family like yours can afford it, but for the rest of us, it's a business transaction. Camosa comes from a poor family. They had a title of nobility, but they'd lost most of their riches and splendour. The only way for her to advance up the social ladder was to marry. She was ambitious. She married an officer who was relatively rich and had a lot of accolades. She probably planned ahead even there. For all I know, she chose a man who would probably die in battle so that she could marry even higher later. When you say that, that's such a cruel assumption. Cruel? It's not like she liked him. He would have died anyway. She just wanted something more out of life. It's still a cold thing to do. Cold? Sure, it's cold. It's business. I don't see what's wrong with it. Mother's not dumb. She did what she had to do. There's not much room in this world for women with ambition, so you take what you can get. So back then, was your life as bad as it is now? Worse. How so? Well, you weren't around. Listen, if you're not around, who do you think becomes the victim? Mother's always needed a scapegoat, and Gloria would do anything to please that woman. I'm not as pretty, smart, or ambitious as them, so naturally she humiliated me, and Mom didn't disapprove. And now that I'm here, they no longer target you. Is that it? That's exactly it. Mom and Gloria have a new scapegoat, and my life is finally a little better. Oh, I see. So now that you're no longer tormented, you choose to torment me instead. Of course, nothing personal, but it's either me or you, and I certainly won't be a victim again. Besides, you should be grateful. Didn't your father shield you from the real world too much? Well, now you get to see exactly what it's like. That's the way of all things. You're either the hunter or the prey. And as long as Mother and Gloria focus on you, I can go back to being my own worthless self. Just listen to yourself. You're not worthless, ugly, stupid, or even cruel. My, what has made you an expert all of a sudden? That's ridiculous. It's obvious the person you hate the most is yourself, but you have no reason to. So you make up all these excuses like you're too stupid or ugly or worthless, when you know it's not true. But it's still an easy way out, isn't it? You prefer to convince yourself you're nothing, so that nobody will expect anything more from you. You don't have to change or do anything if you're worthless after all. And you sound like you're trying to convince yourself that you're all-knowing. You're not worthless, Sophia. You know that. It's almost endearing how hard you try and see the good in other people, but you're just being naive. It's not naive at all. I was paying attention when you were talking and I learned something important. You think you're worthless because you can't measure up to Camosa or Gloria, but it's the opposite. Camosa is a woman with strong influence. It's easy to get drawn in and confirm what she wants. The fact that you resisted means you're stronger than Gloria. It means you're stronger than Camosa. I'm sorry you had to suffer for it, but that makes you even more admirable. You really had it rough, and I know that left a mark on you, but it doesn't make you worthless. You know, I don't need your pity. Trust me, that's the last thing on my mind. You've still been absolutely horrid to me. But now that I know what happened to you, well, I just wish that you knew better. Listen closely to me, Cinders, because I'm only going to say this once. I am sorry. I'm sorry for everything. I'm not promising I'll change, but it's better than nothing. Thank you. I'm glad we could speak with each other like this. Maybe this is the start of something better. Don't get your hopes up. Anyway, it looks like dinner is nearly ready, so I'm leaving. Just make sure to hurry. I will. See you later. Wait, Sophia. What? Just remember that sometimes it's easier to get through tough situations if you have someone on your side. I suppose so. I wonder if I got through to her. I can't believe we actually had that conversation. That was definitely unexpected. I think I need some time to think it over. The meal is nearly done anyway. All that's left is to get one of the servants to cook the rest before tonight it's served. I really need to get out and gather my thoughts. Everyone is busy, so I'm sure no one will notice if I sneak out. The main hallway is empty. No surprise there. As I thought, everyone is busy right now. I don't have much time before dinner, but I'm sure I could sneak out and be back in time. All the talk about my mother reminded me that I haven't been to her grave in a long time. It might be dangerous to sneak out during the day, but I don't know if I'll get another chance. I'll just have to move as quickly as I can. Right, that to me seems an excellent moment to stop this recording, say thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next part.